Congratulations, Double. You are first. That awards you first. There should be. I feel like that being... It's an interesting... I think Twitch should have that as a channel thing. You know? I think you should be able to have your sub badge, a custom badge, an artist badge, whatever, and then also a first badge. I usually get a redeem, but the thing is, the redeem doesn't stick around. You know, like you can say you've claimed it, but it's not like I'm saying there should be a Twitch badge for it. They should build it in. You know. But that would require Twitch to do something, and you know, I see my mistake now. Close out of the tabs here. I'm gonna switch here. Make sure that I'm doing everything correctly. Third, I can't believe it. Your Honor, you literally weren't even there. So, like, chill. All right. First. Welcome in, Wowie. I hope you are having a good Morgan Monday. It is once again Morgan Monday, and we will continue to morgue all over this town. All right. Let's go ahead and hop on over. Hey. I'm gonna be chilling in voice chat, so if someone pops in, I hope that their Foogies are set up correctly, because I think I might just have Raris, so I might need to, if someone other than Rari joins in. But, you know, we're just gonna be hanging out, if someone hops in. I don't know if I'll even, it'll just be fun. But, for today, ow, Shanks, I can't believe this. I've been shanksed in my own home, in my domicile, in my place of residence, in my workplace, even. Just wanted to roll for the shiny luck. Okay, that's fair. Not this time. Maybe next stream. All right. Last time on Of the Devil, it turns out Sarah might have killed David, and that's bad. It also turns out that Sarah is effectively a machine life form in and of herself. She was made via committee of pure AIs made by David with no tenets, no core laws of robotics. And, you know, it's great. Let's, so we're now entering into the trial to defend her, because Morgan has a heart? She relates? Let's hop on in. Hi, Morgan. Hi, Morgan. Hi. We have the log up here. All right, the contract's here. Okay. All right, okay. I said, did you find anything interesting in the contract, Adonai? More lesbians? It's always more lesbians. Every day. More lesbian, and you can help with this estrogen. Pokemon lesbians, that's true. Have you seen Sneasler? What other Pokemon are like hardcore, like absolutely definitively, I guess all of them, right? Is Zach a lesbian? I am all of LGBTQ in one. I won't personally take IA. Lesbian. You know what? In my galaxy, that's what it's called. Yeah. The entire alphabet exactly. They call it the LGBTQ agenda, but it's my agenda. I do it. I said I didn't claim IA. I didn't claim IA. I said I specifically avoided that because though as much as we are part of the same community, not my title to claim. I'll claim everything else though. All right. A few things, yeah. Basically, David was well taken care of, so long as they kept him around. And he retained control of his patents even after being let go. But what Porter said. Logically, if David were to pass while still employed, Noble would continue to control the bulk of his IP. So if they knew David was going to leave in a year, it would be very foolish of them to let Father go. Well, they wouldn't do it for no reason. With this contract, he could only be fired for serious offenses. Corporate malfeasance, revealing trade secrets, fraud. Father was not a fraud. He was, as they say, the greatest of all time. The Zote, the Zach of all trades. The Sarah. My father was the goat, Adonai. Fraud just means lying to the company about something, Sarah. Okay, David's contract has finally been added into the evidence. Here's cause includes only fraud or worse, manipulating company data. I see. And we had that whole thing about the, not the CCE, but the shipping data. The shipping data was tampered with. Right. Interesting. Oh. Dunk. Eyes up. Showtime. Counselor Morgan. The state charges you with possession of contraband. And that'd be you. In violation of the Safeguarding Our National Digital Security Act. How do you plead? Are you taking comms right now? Oh, for 3D art? I suppose. My comms are open. Yeah, I am. If you know anyone who's in need of a 3D model, hit me up. Not guilty. All right, well, since it seems that we are, in fact, doing this, I'll now turn over the administration of this trial to the adjutant. 3D art, not model, I guess? I'm mostly a 3D artist, a 3D model rigger. I can make models. I guess that would warrant a discount. You can send a request over on VGen. We can discuss the terms. VGen is very, very lenient on what you can actually like get. Yeah. If you've got a comm that you'd like, then I could absolutely take a look at it and give you an evaluation at the very least. Yeah, that's the that's not the case for all artists, especially like bigger artists. If you're asking a bigger artist that has like or that's if there is their livelihood to go outside of their boundaries, yeah, it's much more expected to get a nope, them's the deals. This is what I do, and this is what I'm good at, and this is what I'm spending my time doing. But I'm okay. I'm lenient to a degree. Anyways, 80, hi 80. But be warned, any attempts at stalling or muddling the issue, and I'll step right in and override the trial myself. Summary, judgment, siding with the people. Are we understood? Yes, Your Honor. Are we gonna have the same adjutant as we had before? No way. Each courthouse only has so many bodies, but the personalities swap around all the time. So the chances of us dealing with the same glitchy mess as yesterday are... Glad to be back! Did y'all miss me? Of fucking course. She had one too many lines for that to be the case. Mm, mm. Uh, Forget I said anything. I'll just go crawl under a rock and die while you make your opening statements. Ahem. The defendant is the owner of the android registered under the model name Sarah, with license number 12029280. She hasn't contested this, and I doubt she will. So the question of ownership is already answered. All that remains is to determine whether Sarah qualifies as contraband. It's a charming android, incredibly well made, a masterpiece, and the last known work of a great man. But when we look at the evidence and the facts surrounding the death of Dr. Ashur, we're forced to conclude that said android is responsible for his death. And that conclusion carries very serious implications. I will prove here in court today that the machine standing there killed David Asher. Not through an accident or a mismanaged dosage, but through an intentional poisoning. I won't ask the judge I won't ask the court to judge this machine on its apparent sentience, its range of emotions, or the free will it may or may not possess. I only ask that the court judge this creation on what we will prove it to be more than capable of. Patricide. Woof, I wouldn't want to have to follow that act. But go for it anyway, defense. Your Honor, what the DA said is true. What did she just say? Did she just admit it? Sorry, just the first part. This android is charming, and it is the work of a great man. The rest of it was pure speculation, based on little more than a few bad camera angles and a phobia of anything new. I do own the android you see here. It was bequeathed to me by a man known to most of the people in this courtroom as the father of modern machine intelligence. To me, he was just my friend. And if I thought at any point that this puppet had anything to do with his death, I would have dragged her to the chopping block myself. But I don't believe that. I never have. Sarah is an android, nothing more. It isn't capable of homicide, and it didn't even commit manslaughter. It's just a well-made machine. Any fears one has about its capabilities are projections, nothing more. And it troubles me greatly that the state is spending valuable time and resources on rushing to pulverize Dr. Ashur's last known work, when it could be going after the very real, very human forces that were responsible for his death. Is she serious? Is she talking about Noble? The people can't prove that Sarah is an AI, and truth be told, I can't prove that it isn't. But I can prove that it's not guilty. Oh! And that's exactly what I'm going to do. Chills? You sounded very confident, Adonai. Yeah, well, no one ever got good at lying by being modest. Could have simply said thank you. She's so pouty, I love her. Thank you for your presence here today, Detective London. In light of the new evidence, I'd like to go over the death of Dr. Ashur one more time. What happened Friday night? At 6:30 p.m., David Ashur spoke on the phone with his lover, and the two of them broke things off. Lover? It's an accurate description of the relationship, isn't it? I wouldn't know. That stuff's private. Morgan doesn't know anything about how people interact on a personal, romantic basis. She's like, ew, gross, David, lover, ew, ew. That implies things I don't want to think about. Ew. Adonai. Then, the deceased met with Noble VP Helen Young in his parlor starting around 7:30 p.m. He then left the parlor and the sightlines of his home security system, before reappearing on his private secondary security system in his basement moments later. At which point the android Sarah can be seen handing him the poison he'd go on to drink. It's not seen handing the poison. And do you see that android in the courtroom? Yeah, he's the green-haired one that's frowning at me. Let the record show that the android Sarah has been identified at the scene of the crime. No objections. None? Then why'd I even show up? Detective London, what happened next? Asher went upstairs and shared a drink with Miss Young. Within a few minutes, he was being airlifted to the hospital, where he was soon declared dead. We know that the poison could be produced by his manufacturer, which Sarah had access to just up the stairs in his workshop. So Sarah had ample opportunity to procure the poison, and Sarah handled Dr. Ashur's cup immediately before he did. Is there a question in that statement, Your Honor? I'll rephrase. I love... I'm feral. I'm a feral fucking animal. At the little prods and pricks and of just regular legal adversarial process of just the like, is there a question? And then I'll rephrase. I'm playing by the rules, but I'm pushing my luck. But I know I'm pushing my luck, so I'll play back. It's this tender, it's this eloquent push and pull of the adversarial process, and I love it. Oh, I love it. Was anyone else seen handling Dr. Usher's cup before he died? No. I have no further questions. So that's your witness, counselor. He wasn't lying per se, but there was some ambiguity in the statement he gave. Truth's got to come out one way or another. If Emma won't push, I'll have to pull. I love pulling. All right, the talk screen, the basement footage, and the whiskey. They broke up over the phone. And at 7:30 p.m., Helen Young arrived. He spoke briefly, and then he went downstairs. Cameras in the basement show Sarah handing him the cups and the whiskey. After he came back to the parlor and started drinking, it wasn't long until he lost consciousness and died. Drinking poisoned whiskey while he thought he was having a toast. That sounds bad. I don't like that one. You know if that's a good way or a bad way to go out. Nothing there to call, even. There's a slight slip up in there. Could go nowhere, but at this stage I need to pick at every loose thread I can. Okay. The whiskey wasn't poisoned, and that's the bottle, right? Drinking poisoned whiskey, so we need the bottle that wasn't poisoned. Wanna bet? Fuck! That's the best you've got. I didn't think it was all that bad. Depends on the grading curve. I give you an F. Overruled. Ow. Let me choose my response more carefully than that. Ugh. But that's what it is. It's gotta be what it is, right? Okay, they broke up, that's true. 7:30 p.m., Young arrived, that's true. Broke briefly, and then he went downstairs, that's true. Cameras in the basement show Sarah handing him the cups and the whiskey, that's true. After he came back to the parlor and started drinking. Wasn't long until he lost consciousness and died. That's true. Drinking poisoned whiskey while he thought he was having a toast. Damn. Okay. F. Do we know he started drinking? Okay, let's look at the evidence that we have. We've got the talk screen, the whiskey, negative for poison. The talk screen, he did drink. So, that one's true, actually. Huh. I'm fully lost. Talk screen, the whiskey, and what was the other one? The footage, right. Okay, let's take a look at the footage again. Evidence, basement footage. Oh, she only handed him the cups, not the whiskey. Objection. Wanna bet? Check that footage again, Detective London. We only see Sarah handing the victim a cup. He had already retrieved the whiskey himself. Oh yeah, forgot about that. Detective London just wasn't being specific enough, Your Honor. But it matters little since it was David's cup, not the whiskey bottle that was poisoned. Weird flex, but okay. And that undeniable fact is shown clearly in the security footage. Sarah hands him a cup after he was ready to leave. True, she did call David back. And handed him a cup of poison? And that wouldn't make sense. It does seem logical is the thing. The way Morgan is having the think here, that question mark, makes it seem like they don't want it to make sense, but... like, the state's argument is... hey, come back, you forgot your cup here that's got the poison in it. The poison for you, your poisoned cup, you. How could you guarantee which cup he drank from? That's a good question. If the cup was already poisoned, don't you think David would have noticed it wasn't empty? Well, not necessarily. The lethal dose could have been quite small. If it were just a droplet, he could have easily overlooked it. For Sarah, this crime is very simple. There was too little to the plan for anything to go wrong. Once she handed it off, she just had to wait for him to drink from his cup. Is that all she'd have needed to do? No, that wasn't enough to poison David, because there were two people there. Not a great plan if that really was Sarah's move. She gave him 2 cups. How could she have known which cup David would drink from? There are a few ways to go about it. But it's only a 50-50 shot, Counselor. Stranger things have happened. There's no way to know the right cup, right? Don't try and bluff me, Rockford. There was no difference between the cups. It's not a bluff. Sarah handed the cups to him in one stack, with the poison hidden in the bottom cup. She knew David was courteous and would pour for his guest first. Ouch. So he wouldn't even look into the poison cup until it was already pouring. Ugh! Fuck. Cold-blooded patricide executed by taking calculated advantage of Dr. Usher's kindness. Oh, my coins! Stop it! Damn. She was luring me in with those easy answers. And I fell for it. Now, are there some questions you'd like to ask the detective while he's available? Or are you done already? I was just about to get started. Even if I didn't have questions, I'd make some up just to spite you at this point. But I can do better than that. Now, what can I get London to say that would help my case? Sarah in the footage. Detective, in the footage we just saw, could you see what Sarah was doing? Not exactly, no. Her back was to the camera and her hands were obscured. Could you see her hands from any other clip of camera footage retrieved from the basement? No. Did you or anyone else participating in the investigation ever see Sarah put anything into David Asher's cup? No. The footage submitted to the record is the best available view of what happened. Wouldn't Sarah's eyes record it best? The data's gone, and we know that. I don't think this is a pressable thing here. Let's stay. Ad-involved crime. Do you know how many violent incidents the city's police have investigated in the last year? Not the exact number. Thousands, though? Yeah, around there. And of those thousands of incidents of violence, do you know how many of them were found to be the fault of automated dependents? I believe there's been 6 in the last 5 years. Were all 6 of them incidents of police-licensed ad-involved brutality? Relevance, Your Honor? Withdrawn. How many tenets protect humans? No. I don't want to do that yet. I don't want to do any tenet technicalities. That doesn't feel like a great option here. Because admitting that there are technicalities to tenets that could allow a non-AI to commit a murder is still admitting the guilt of the murder, you know? Proving that there's not a lot of crime for ads. All right, let's do the eye thing. What about the view from the android itself? Well, yeah, if we could see through the android's eyes, that'd be pretty conclusive. If we could trust any data touched by her. Fuck! How many tenants protect humans? As an aside, detective, do you know how many tenants are recognized in this country? 110? 112 as of this year. Couldn't you have given me that one? Do you know how many of those tenants pertain to protecting humans from any harm? That one I do know. 41. And lastly, detective, how many times in the last, say, century have we seen automated dependents break their tenants? 5 times is the agreed upon number. So if you were to tally that all up and try and make an evaluation as a police officer charged with protecting civilians, overall you'd say that automated dependents in general are how dangerous to the public? The witness is not an expert on automated dependents, Your Honor. He's more than qualified to say whether they have a history of violence, Your Honor. What the heck? Let him answer. I'd have to say that they're not dangerous. Normally that would have bought me some doubt with the jury, but this isn't a traditional trial. At least I can say that it shored up my own confidence. Alright, seems like that's as close as I'm going to get to blackjack. Okay, alright. I believe I've made my point. I have no more questions for this witness, Your Honor. And we can move on to the next item on the docket. Looks like Emma wants to introduce some new evidence. I call Sarah to the stand. The android, can she even do that? Approach, Your Honor. Oh, you're approaching me? Shouldn't have second-guessed yourself there. That's fair. Yeah, no, both of those lines of questioning could be dangerous, you know? It's one of those things where from what I know about law, from the legal YouTubers I will occasionally watch, you never want to ask a witness on a stand a question you don't already know the answer to. If you're not prepared for what answer they're going to give, then you can't guarantee that it's going to be helpful to your case. I didn't know where that tenant question was going to go, you know? I also didn't know where the eyes question was going to go. Anyways, I believe that it's me they wanted to speak with. I didn't even get to finish my line. Now then, what the hell are you doing, Rockford? Took the words right out of my mouth. I have questions for the android. This seemed like the best way to get answers. You can't call an android as a witness. It's not a person. There's plenty of precedents for it. Ads provide testimony all the time. Not when they're on trial. Sarah isn't on trial. You are. Sarah's accused of being an AI. That means you don't trust a word out of its mouth. If the witness isn't to be trusted, the court can decide that for itself after hearing their testimony. Why the ambush? Why'd you list this as entering evidence, D.A. Rockford? Only people can be witnesses, Your Honor, and ads don't have legal personhood. Evidence seemed like the best-worst descriptor. You know I can't make an android swear an oath. Rockford is just trying to spoil your opinion, Your Honor. The more this court treats Sarah like a person, the more you'll see her as human, and the weaker my case becomes in your eyes. Nice try, Counselor, but we don't have time to worry about my impartiality. You're free to call for mistrial if you want, but the state will have turned Sarah to slag before you even finish signing your motion. Rockford's calling a witness that is blatantly hostile to her case. If the witness is hostile, so be it. It did kill a man, after all. Allegedly. What about the right to avoid self-incrimination? Who's the one treating Sarah like a person now? Androids don't have rights. Damn it, The android will take the stand. Your Honor, I've made my decision. And if Sarah refuses to take the stand, are you going to charge her with contempt of court? If the machine won't talk, you'll make every effort as its owner to ensure that it does. And if it disobeys you, then we'll have our answer about its sentience right then and there. Yes, Your Honor. Shit. What's going on? Dia's going to question you on the stand. What? But I shouldn't. Listen to me. You don't have a choice right now. This is happening. Tell the truth, but be concise. The more robotic, the better. Yes or no's only if you can. Would using affirmative and negative be laying it on too thick? Talking about the tenant details was better than talking about the exceptions. Yeah, that's true. Like, the exceptions was absolutely a bait of like, hey, if you can work around the tenants. Oh yeah, so she did do the murder? That's not good. Anyways, this is very funny. But Adonai, if I make a mistake, all these people, they want to destroy me. If you make a mistake, your lawyer will just have to cover for you. Understand? Yes. You are the android identified as Sarah, correct? Yeah. Affirmative. Do you deny that this camera footage shows you handling the poisoned cup? Objection. It remains to be seen whether the cup itself was definitively poisoned. Yes. Sarah, do you deny handing that cup to David Assure? Negative? I have no memory of the incident, so I can neither confirm nor deny it. Do you have any reasoning, any excuse for your actions, for failing to notify police of crucial information? I do not have any records from that day, so I never had anything to tell anyone. Very well, counselor. The journal, if you will. This could be a slaughter. Of course. Do you recognize this item? It's a journal that belongs to Dr. David Assure. I have seen him write in it on many occasions. And have you any knowledge of its contents? Negative. You don't have to answer that, actually. Tell the court what you see here in this footage. I see myself reading the journal in the basement. This footage was captured on Friday, the day you claim to have no memory of. So regardless of what you do or don't remember, we know that you read this journal hours before David Assure died. That is logical. I'd like you to read some passages from it for the court. Can you do that? Of course. Page 238, the 10th line. Sarah is growing faster than I ever expected, beyond my wildest dreams or fears. Today, she... Continue, please. Today she broke every password I have in the house. Said she was curious. I can't expect to keep things from her forever. Page 251, line 12. I've gravely underestimated the scope of things. Sarah could change everything, and I don't think I could stop her. Listen. Page 263. Damn it! If this keeps up, Sarah's gonna fall to pieces up there. I need to raise an objection. I really do. I can't make her endure. Like, she's gonna fall to pieces. I have to. The objection for relevance is important here. Point proven, you know? Badgering, Your Honor. Badgering what witness, counselor? I'm just making the android do some simple tasks. Damn it, I can't raise an objection when Sarah's got no legal status for me to defend. Page 263, I said. I think Sarah was angry today. When I came back from work, she had ripped a Zin alloy plate in half. She said she was testing her strength, but the cameras... That was page 267. Sarah scared me today. If she starts bawling on the stand, it's all over. Your Honor, I fail to see the value in continuing this line of questioning. Dr. Assure was wary of a highly experimental android he was building, as any good scientist would be. That's been established. Did the people have a counter-argument? Rocks. Hi, Monokuma. Welcome in. I can't believe that the objection for badgering wasn't real and we couldn't do it, but the objection for what are we doing here? What's the line of questioning? Come on. Abroction. So true. I have just one last question, if it pleases the court. Let's hear it. This footage was captured in the basement on Friday around 5:30 p.m. Tell the court what you see. I see myself standing where I was when I read the journal. I'm speaking to someone who's off camera, and I appear agitated, and I stomp my foot. And what happens to the floor after you stomp your foot? A large crack is made in the vulcanized polymer, and I walk off camera towards whomever I had been speaking to. Speaking or shouting? Asked and answered. Not really, but I'll withdraw the comment nonetheless. Your witness, counselor, or evidence if you prefer. Damn, I knew she could cherry-pick all the worst passages from the journal, but still. If Barrows wasn't wavering before, I'd try to have Sarah read the mushy parts. No, the waterworks would start only after a few lines. Emma went to all that trouble to show how emotionally developed Sarah is, proving that she loved David like a father would be playing right into her hand. What do you say, counselor? Got some burning cues for the android to answer? Yes, Your Honor, just one moment. Emma went for emotion and the impact was devastating, so all I can do is focus on the facts. So let's flip this around. Say Sarah absolutely didn't poison David. If that's the case, why did she call him back on his way out of the basement? Wait, I'd actually like to ask you to read from the journal again, Sarah. You would? From where? from the section that explains what you were actually trying to do that night. The section of his journal detailing... Ah! The toast with the cheap liquor in the plastic cups. His early career. Not his newfound fame, his early career, because this was before he got famous. Look around the early section. There should be an entry talking about an early victory at Noble. Relevance? The people will see in just one moment that this story is the key to this entire case. Got approval from overseas. Have to make pitch again this week, Young says. Brought me a stack of plastic cups. Here's to a bright future together. And then on this next page, another victory for the young and sleepless. Helen convinced the president of Futures over lunch that my code should be the basis for the Animate 13's conversational tracking. She insisted on toasting the same crappy booze in the same cheap cups. Wants to make a tradition. Plastic cups and liquor. A ritual between Helen Young and David Asher, who were about to have a drink together Friday night. Something you want to say, Counselor? Let's put all our cards on the table, shall we? This is still episode 1. Isn't there like 3 of them? There's 3 episodes, but 1 is episode 0. So we're on episode 1 now. So the episode 0 is a prologue demo type thing, which is still good. But this one is we're in 1 right now. Anywho, you want to compare theories? If you'd rather I end this now, I'll be happy to oblige. Is it peak? It's peak. Here's what we know. Sarah read that journal and discovered what she was. It infuriated her, and she wanted revenge for being kept under her maker's thumb. That very night, she got her chance when Dr. Asher came down looking for a drink. So like the clever little helper she is, she offered him a cup to drink out of. We're completely in agreement on all that. So you also agree that the cup was poisoned, and that Sarah's responsible for his death? Not quite. It's not a bad explanation, Miss Rockford, but it is terribly complex. There's a much simpler reasoning for why Sarah did what she did. Young story that they did this. This was their common thing that they did. The story from the journal? You're saying Sarah wasn't planning anything. She was just being considerate. That's so sweet. But I don't follow, like, at all. It's actually quite simple. Sarah's not an AI. She only threw a tantrum that day because she found out she was being spied on. A realistic reaction for an android designed to be realistic. David Asher set her memory to be cleared himself because he wanted to preserve the experiment he was running. Sarah didn't hatch a plan to poison him using an obscure chemical acquired from the lab, and she didn't subtly manipulate David into drinking from only 1 of 2 cups. Because the android read the whole journal that day. Meaning she also read how David and Young used to celebrate. And so when she saw David was leaving the basement without the nostalgic cups, she called him back to hand them to him. Simple, right? Simple enough for me! But not nearly good enough for me. Oh! Peak. What's more likely, Miss Rockford? That a well-made, clever android proposed a sentimental addition to 2 friends this evening? Or that a homegrown AI with groundbreaking physical and digital abilities concocted a complicated poisoning scheme just to kill an unimposing man? All on camera, mind you. Before voluntarily submitting to a memory wipe. People make all kinds of stupid mistakes when they commit crimes, Counselor. We shouldn't expect an AI to act much differently. Is it stupid or dangerous? Can't have it both ways, Your Honor. We can't have it's ignorant of its power and still immature. A deadly trait to have in an AI that's capable of anything. Shall we see what Sarah's capable of then, Your Honor? What? You can't be... Your Honor, that's... The people open the door. True, and I can't resist open doors. Let's do it. What are you even... Sarah, David Asher was your creator and your designated owner, correct? Should I still be using affirmative? And now that title falls to me. Yes? Great, thank you. Now turn off. What? Shut down, that's a command. Power on. What are you... Off. On. I deny, I don't... Off. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is what this fearsome machine menace is capable of. I can put it to sleep with one word. So how could David Asher ever be threatened by it? Scary. Scary good logic. You've made your point, Counselor. Let's move it along. I've no further queries for the machine, Your Honor. Thank you. For flipping you off and on? Can't imagine that was comfortable. It wasn't. But I wasn't referring to that. Since yesterday I've been searching for an answer to why I appeared on that camera. I know I would never hurt Father, but you helped me prove that to myself just now. Hadn't I? Pardon me, I need to focus. Everything depends on this next witness. People call Helen Young to the stand. It's time! Let's incriminate her! You did it! I'm sure. Helen Young, Vice President of Android Futures at Noble Electronics, Eastern Division. Miss Young, you were there the night Dr. Usher died. And you were on camera the entire time. That's correct. So what did you see that night? I arrived at 7:30 p.m., as you know. David and I talked in parlor, then he left to retrieve some refreshments for us. After drinking together for a short while, he fell ill. I love the dramatic smug expressions. It's very good. They're very good dramatic smug expressions. I contacted emergency services, and I'm sure you're all tired of hearing the same details over and over by now. The same details over and over aren't going to hold up anymore, Madam Veep. It's still unclear to me whether Young's more concerned with protecting herself or the almighty company. But it'll clear up real fast if I can turn up the pressure on her here and now. Alright, the journal. The arbitration meeting, and Young's story. Okay. I came to David's at 7:30. We chatted for a short while about some low-priority work. Nothing heavy. Yeah? Before long, he offered to fetch us some refreshments. When he came back, we shared a drink together. At the time, I didn't notice anything strange. We were just reminiscing. I didn't think his life was in danger. But then he became ill. So I ran to the kitchen to activate his emergency console, and I did what I could up until he was gone. Did you? That's the one. She's trying to paint a different picture of what happened that day. I can't let her set the tone as she pleases. But I didn't get the option to do the water cup one. The arbitration. Okay. Terms of his resignation, the afternoon before he died. The journal, not relevant, and Young's story, not relevant. It's got to be the arbitration, and it's got to be the fact that it wasn't heavy discussions. Okay. Detail-oriented personality, yeah. I missed it. Okay. Low priority work. Wanna bet? Yeah. It wasn't low priority. Nothing heavy. You're both more professional than I realized. Since only hours earlier you'd run a meeting in which his employment was terminated. His employment wasn't terminated at the arbitration you're referring to. His resignation was merely agreed upon. Yes, and we can all imagine how grateful he felt about the whole process. David didn't hold grudges. Our conversation wasn't about that. The fact that you had fired him that afternoon didn't come up. Asked and answered. Who initiated the meeting at his penthouse? I arrived unannounced. So you weren't invited? Very cordial indeed. If he didn't want to see me, he could have stopped me at the elevators. Could he have? Noble owned the entire building down to the wiring. Counsel is badgering the witness, Your Honor. She's fucking gaming. Shut the hell up. Right, should we execute her for that then? No need. If I can just continue my questioning, we can finally start addressing the elephant in the room. Where? 80! Oh my god. She's playing Enfield? No, she's not. She's being very scared about an elephant in the room, Taze. It's great. It's fucking peak. Where? I see. That was merely a joke. Hilarious. Miss Young, Noble Electronics owns a patent for and produces a synthetic biochemical known as synatonin, correct? That's correct. It's used in our warm models to facilitate integration and communication between organic and synthetic components. It's an artificial neurotransmitter? Essentially, yes. Synthetic analog serotonin was the original name. Did you bring the sample I requested to the courtroom today? I did. Serotonin is produced on-site at our assembly lines as a caramel-tinted solution, including water and a few non-reactive organic byproducts. Your analysis, Your Honor? Working on it. It's odorless and tasteless. A solution of water and organic byproducts, you said. If that solution were ingested, most of it would look right at home in a human body. I suppose. But the serotonin would stand out, wouldn't you say? It's not a naturally occurring compound, so yes. And it's a perfect match for the substance previously labeled Delta. And the sample we collected from the manufacturer present in Dr. Asher's lab? And that's a bingo! The witness's brown stuff matches your brown stuff down to a T. In light of this evidence and the witness's testimony, I motion that the court formally recognize that Dr. Asher's cause of death was serotonin poisoning. I don't object, Your Honor, but I'm afraid that I must. Huh? Excuse me? Serotonin may very well have been in his body when he died, but serotonin didn't kill Dr. Asher. What the hell is she up to? It couldn't have. It couldn't kill anybody. What? Because it's non-toxic, of course. We designed it to affect androids, not people. Hold on, you're now claiming that Dr. Asher died of what, natural causes? I can't say what he died of. I'm not a medical expert. But I can easily prove that serotonin is harmless. How could you? Like so. Huh. Didn't see that one coming. What? What? Oh, that ain't good. Bailiff, contact the hospital immediately. I told you it's fine. But I can stand here all day if necessary. What in the? And what you just drank was several hundred times the amount found in Dr. Asher's body. Why didn't you say anything until now? Noble Electronics is a multinational corporation with patents filed all over the world. We take the protection of our trade secrets very seriously. The production and nature of serotonin is closely guarded. That guard remains up even during a murder investigation. Unfortunately. I would have been able to tell you earlier, had you asked directly. What the hell kind of... This can't be right. Nothing else makes sense. Boy howdy, I'm lost as hell. But do you have any further questions, Rockyford? Not at the moment, Your Honor. And the defense? And the prosecution's own witness just threw the entire case into question. Normally this would be cause for celebration, but shadow of a doubt isn't enough this time. Barrows would much rather bring down the gavel early than let a potential AI walk free. This doesn't seem like the kind of slip-up Emma would make so easily. I think it's one of those things where Emma... Like, all of the investigative work from day one, and the fact that she was locked away from this witness, means in her head, the case was so clearly obvious that it was serotonin. There was a thing that makes serotonin in his basement. It was the only foreign compound found in his body. The medical examiner said it could possibly work as a depressant. And there was nothing else in his body. You know? No other injuries. Like, the serotonin being the only cause of death is the only thing that makes sense. And the Emmy already said it's possible, so the fact that Noble wasn't going to tell her anything meant she had to work with what she had. What Young did was shocking, but what I need to do hasn't changed. Think this through logically. Is it really possible that serotonin had nothing to do with David's death? No, that's bullshit. It can't be a coincidence. There's nothing else that would have killed him. But Young just drank serotonin in front of us and she's fine. So was it fake? No, it was confirmed by the court computer to be the genuine article. So she drank poison but isn't showing any symptoms. Is it slow acting? If so, her grand gesture would be pointless. She'll be kept for observation regardless of what happens next. She takes some kind of antidote beforehand. Now, antidotes are developed for poisons, not industrial chemicals. David's dead, she's alive. What made the difference? He could be allergic to... Well, no, because, it couldn't be, the... It was mixed with alcohol. That's true. That could do it. But I guess that was a big difference, huh? But alternatively, we have this chromofuge. It starts out red. She drank it brown. It becomes pink when they remove the impurities and organic byproducts. Could those organic byproducts limit the toxicity? The mixing with alcohol does make sense, but it's a possibility. And... Yeah. Wake up! No sleeping on the job! Unless you're me. Of course, Your Honor. Allow me one moment to explain things to the court. We've confirmed just now that synatonin was the foreign compound in his body. And we all know, logically, that it must have been what killed David Ashur. So what's the key difference between what David drank that night and what she drank in front of us just now? She drank exactly what David just did. No. Oh! You know when Young said she did everything for David and this whole thing, the cup? She was drinking alcohol. She got poisoned by synatonin too, but she puked up the synatonin herself. She induced vomiting in herself only. That's what this cup is for. But the whiskey. She did not drink whiskey right now, too. The difference has been staring us in the face this whole time. Do you recognize this, Miss Young? And that's the whiskey bottle that Dr. Ashur and I drank from. Rose River, it's a good whiskey. And I think you had the right idea. Pardon. Bottoms up. Smooth. What? Adonai. Dear God, counselor. Scandalous. Relax, it's just whiskey. Tested a dozen times over, perfectly safe. So would you like to try some, Miss Young? Don't be absurd. I'm not going to drink on the witness stand. Have you lost your mind? I'm not asking you to get plastered. Just have a sip. After all, if we want to prove whether or not synatonin killed Dr. Ashur, you have to recreate the conditions under which he ingested it. By mixing it with alcohol. Sweat, bitch! Sweat! Go ahead, then. Just a taste. Prove to us that synatonin is perfectly safe for human consumption. Can she do this? Miss Young. I never said it was safe for human consumption. Just that it's non-toxic. A distinction without a difference. You saw firsthand Dr. Ashur confused, slurring his speech, complaining of headache, all symptoms of poisoning. Alcohol poisoning, that is. The synatonin increased his susceptibility to it lowered his tolerance to alcohol. Synatonin is a neurotransmitter analog. Maybe it doesn't do anything in the human body on its own, but in combination with alcohol, it acts as a powerful depressant. One strong enough to turn a glass or two of whiskey into a lethal overdose. That's just... Even if that is the case, what does it change? It changes whether or not we can accept the witness's testimony. Even if this witness is a liar, what does that change? Why would the witness lie if not to... She's a corporate climber. I imagine it's like breathing for her. Your Honor, this is wild! But ultimately irrelevant. Irrelevant? When you've yet to establish an alternative interpretation of the facts, yes. What are you even accusing the witness of doing, Counselor? Beyond angling for a promotion. We've all seen the story by now. Noble android saved soldier life with warm blood transfusion. They're talking about putting warm androids in the military just because of that headline. With the size of their flesh and blood price tag, a defense contract like that would secure Noble untold profits for years. So imagine the lengths they go to hide the fact that their androids have poison in their veins. They'll tell me the truth about what Noble really thinks of that article, but he never testified to it. At least I know for sure Emma's wrong about this poisoned blood nonsense. And you think she'd perjure herself for that? She's a high-powered corporate executive. It's her job to assess risk versus reward. And she can afford the fine. As I said, it's not truly poisonous. And the chances of cross-contamination for a simple plasma transfusion are... Damn, now she's regaining her composure too. A perjury charge is a real risk, of course, but Noble rewards loyalty. And as you know, they have a great number of lawyers. Plenty of motive to lie about Cinetonin, as you can see. But no motive for her to cover up the death of Noble Electronics' golden goose. No motive to kill David Assure, you say? She has no motive. The motive being the contract. Solution, Brown. Don't drink it! It's gotta be... I want it to be the contract, but I really don't know for sure. Like, since he never did any lying, they can't fire him. Usually these evidence thingies have more information about what's relevant here. Sarah's first experiences, not relevant. David's employment and fireable offenses, like fraud, that would be relevant. Sterling and David texted. And Sterling's texts were... Sarah, not relevant. We can't prove a method. Cinetonin, don't drink it, it's brown, that's true. Or Cinetonin. I can't bet big here. I would love to bet big here, but I can't bet big here. I'm not confident enough in this contract bid. There's plenty of motivation for her and Noble to want David dead, seeing as how they were firing him. Nah, it was the contract. Okay. That's what I thought. I'm glad I didn't... I wish I bet bigger, but oh well. Noble Electronics was kicking their golden goose out of the nest, suing him over breach of contract. Isn't that right? I don't have to talk about that. That's all right. I'll talk about it for you. Your Honor, counsel is trying to testify when they're supposed to be questioning. The people opened the door when they claimed that the witness had no motive. Fuck, I hate opening the door. This is absurd. You have no idea what you're talking about. I'm sure I can speak for the whole court when I say we feel nothing but reverent awe for the complexity of Noble's legal woes. But I just so happen to have an inkling of insight into this issue, because I have here a copy of Dr. Assure's employment contract. That is confidential. It's completely improper for you. Why? I am still technically his attorney. Criminal attorney. But I didn't just stumble across this document. I also did the one thing Noble Electronics would never expect anyone to do. I read their terms and conditions. You what? No, anything but that. There were so many words. How did you get through them all? Our one weakness. That's impossible. No one could ever. David must have negotiated well at his last performance review. This contract allows him to take his patents with him should he get fired, meaning Noble couldn't monopolize his IP once he was out. Rather than let their competitors have him, the company might have thought it best to... A company didn't poison David Assure, Counselor. An individual did. And if they cared that much about controlling his intellectual property, they wouldn't fire him in the first place. Correct. They wouldn't let him go for anything less than a complete breakdown of trust. He'd have to have done something grave. Something like, say, committing fraud. Just now you said there was a breach of contract, like it was some kind of technicality that was causing the split. But it was much more serious than that, wasn't it? You're claiming the victim committed corporate fraud? Where's the evidence of that? David created the Turing solution that every one of their Android has run on to this day. And Noble reaped enormous profits capitalizing on his intellectual property. With how his contract was set up, they would never let him go unless they absolutely had to. And what exactly do you think David Assure did? It's not what I think that matters, only what the company fears. The shipping data shows signs of a cover-up. It's gotta be that cover-up. It's gotta be the shipping data. It can't be Sarah. Sarah's a good red herring to put here, though. Because, like, David never hurt Noble, unless he did. And I think this was part of building Sarah, possibly. But yeah, I think this one is, I think this one's a good, Sarah's a good bait. It doesn't matter what I believe, not when Noble believed that David was misleading the shareholders by altering shipment data for the Animate 16. What the hell? What is this you're uploading? Shipping records? Irregularities among the shipments of the Animate 16. One android swapped in for another, over and over, dozens of times. The kind of thing someone with Dr. Assure's authority could do. And the kind of thing someone as smart as you couldn't have missed. Dr. Assure made Noble an untold amount of money, so why fire him over a few harmless swaps? Why elevate this to fraud? You have evidence that it was David Assure who did this? Nope, but I was the one who investigated it. So let's ask her. Come on now, let's hear it. Let's. The company investigated and found cause for serious concern. We suspected that Dr. Assure was inserting androids of unknown origin and quality into the 16th product line, introducing unpredictable elements in an extremely stable and profitable generation of androids. Why would he do that? For pride? As a practical joke? Does it really matter? He endangered the future of the company. So you're prepared to fire him? Yes, I approached him as his superior and as someone he'd once worked with. I hoped to remedy the situation. Was the meeting on Friday part of those efforts? It was the culmination of those efforts. And in many ways, it was a success. The dispute was resolved swiftly. It was practically friendly compared to how these discussions normally go in our world. So you brokered the meeting? Yes. You oversaw its every detail, handled all the arrangements. Yes, of course. Including the refreshments. What? Did you provide coffee? Tea? No. Strange, it must have been a long meeting. Sure, you at least provided water. Fucking getting them. Yeah, there's water. Like, she's holding a cup of water in her hands. Surely you must have provided jelly donuts. Surely you at least provided water for people. What are you asking, counselor? That's what I want to know. Me as well. We're past the point of asking. I'm accusing. Dr. Assure didn't have some kind of freak medical accident, and he wasn't killed by some terrifying two-faced AI boogeyman. He was poisoned by this woman in the light of day at that meeting Friday afternoon. Did she really just... What do you mean poisoned at the meeting? That was hours before he showed any symptoms. As Miss Young testified and demonstrated, Cinetonin on its own is harmless. But it becomes fatal pretty easily. You just need to convince your victim to have a drink. You're saying he ingested the poison at noon and inadvertently triggered a fatal reaction with it that night? How could you get so far ahead of yourself? There were a dozen people at that meeting, counselor. None of them wound up dead. Are you seriously claiming that they all drank poisoned water? Not all of them drank poison. Like we can just, like, look at the phone and the evidence in the photo. Like, there are people there, but... Okay, I thought that was going to be another one of those, like, digital Zoom meetings, so there wouldn't even be people there. But not all of them drank poison. David was the only one to fall ill, so... But he fell ill because he drank from that water. Others must have drunk it too, so it must reason that they were poisoned as well. Take all the time you need getting there. So why aren't they all dead? Because as all the people will surely test, Helen Young made sure they'd be doing paperwork for the next 12 hours. Ah, fuck, I missed that one. Working late in the night officiating the settlement she arranged. And not drinking alcohol. She had no guarantee about that. What if they started drinking after 6? With Noble's work-life harmony, fat chance. These people don't clock out until they reach their bunk. Only a generational talent like David Assure could afford to relax with a drink on Friday night. His exceptionalism singled him out as her only victim. Hold it. You're forgetting something pretty basic, counselor. If everyone at the meeting drank water from the same pitcher, any one of them would have noticed if there was synatonin in it. Synatonin is a brown fluid. Whiskey is too, so it would be easy to slip it into a glass of liquor. But if she had spiked the water at the meeting with it, it would have looked disgusting. There's no way she could have poisoned the water without people noticing. All of what Emma said is true. And yet Young pulled it off anyway. How? Finally, after all this time, the chromafuge! It removes impurities and pigment! Synatonin is produced as a caramel solution. Anyone would notice if it was dropped into their water. Unless the pigment had been removed. What the hell are you talking about? Every Noble factory producing warm androids has a chromafuge, a machine that gives androids that signature pink oxidant by removing pigment from red blood. With a machine like that, it would be simple for a brilliant biochemist like the Witness to take the caramel-colored synatonin and turn it into an odorless, tasteless, invisible poison. As Your Honor can attest. Yes, ma'am. My scan confirmed the synatonin has no taste or odor. It's only the color that's off-putting. Surely the poisonous aspect should be considered off-putting as well. Time to press. David Assure, your oldest ally in the whole company, was sabotaging its future for the sake of his own whimsy. And he couldn't even be bothered to clue you in. No! Playing Nutty Professor and taking off early while you had to work around the clock just to stay relevant. He set up your crowning achievement, the most advanced, most profitable line of androids the country has ever seen. So it would blow up into the industry fiasco of the decade. And worst of all, he didn't even stand to profit from it. You're wrong. You went to his house that night to watch him swallow poison, to get revenge on the man who left you in the dust. Your Honor, defense is testifying. This speculation carries no weight, and no amount of badgering will lend it any. True, we need proof. So why don't we have Miss Young take a swig of this whiskey and prove me wrong? Huh. I'm not going to do that. Because you're afraid it could kill you? Because I don't have to. He's right, counselor. Pardon. Your theory is compelling, maybe even convincing. But there's a pretty fatal flaw to it. Young was at that meeting, same as Dave. I knew it! I fucking knew it! She self-induced vomiting with salt water! Young was at that meeting, same as David. We can see she was drinking water with the rest of them. And of course, we've seen many times now that she was on camera drinking whiskey with David that night, having even finished most of her cup. So tell us, counselor, how is it that Miss Young is still standing here and David Assure is dead, if both of them had mixed alcohol with synatonin that night? That is a damn good question. Shit! As I've been saying, you're wrong about Dr. Assure's death. You're wrong about me. I don't know anything about poison or murder, and I wouldn't kill a man because he threatened the company's stock price. No. She did kill him. I can smell it on her now. She didn't just see him die. She watched him die. But then why is she still standing? There's no antidote, no trick. And that night she was on camera the entire time. No. Not the entire time. She couldn't have been. There must have been one moment. Get the timeline ready. Okay. They chatted in the parlor. They started drinking. David faints. VTOL to the hospital. Maximum betting. This timeline leaves no window of opportunity, damn it. Maybe she didn't get sick because they got to the hospital so fast. Maybe after she arrived, she could have... The staff would have been hypervigilant and afraid she was poisoned too. They wouldn't have let her out of their sight. Wait, David and Young only got there as fast as they did because of VTOL. And the VTOL was only summoned because she used... Would you mind terribly if I changed the subject for just a moment? What? Why not? You left the parlor at 8:03 p.m. and headed into the kitchen to use the emergency console there. Yes, I did. Didn't want to use your phone? I didn't think to, no. And the emergency call went out at 8:04 p.m. The console saw you make the call through its camera. Yes, it did seem to make the call because that's what happened. So what were you doing in that minute? What? That 1 minute. That 1 minute? What about that 1 minute? 1 minute, or 50 seconds, or even just 45 seconds. When you left Dr. Ashur dying in the parlor to get to the emergency console, it took you about 1 minute to cross 5 meters. What of it? This is it, her only opportunity to do anything off camera that night. It was only a few seconds, but in that time, with something at the scene, I'm sure it was a stressful time for you. After all, you'd already swallowed poison back at the meeting. You must have drank plenty in front of everyone to set up your alibi. Who knows how much of a toxic time bomb was swimming in your blood by the time the arbitration ended. Then at David's, you downed your whiskey to perfect your alibi, having drank from the same bottle as a dead man walking. By 8:03 p.m., you had already watched David grow weaker and weaker, knowing all the while the same thing was happening to you, but unable to stop it without giving yourself away. Mind swimming, head dizzy. Yes, you must have been quite panicked. Then why am I standing here? Alive and well for all of us to see, having drank the exact same combination as David? Because she cheated death at the very last second. Oh no, I don't know which one to do. The water glass at the salt shaker. Loose cap by the sink brings sickness. I gotta gamble. It's the salt shaker. She used the salt to make herself puke. It was salt. Salt. You set yourself up with bad luck, Helen Young. What? By leaving the salt shaker cap loose. I don't blame you since you were in a rush. To make yourself vomit. What? You threw up, expelling the contents of your stomach and thereby saving yourself from a fatal interaction. I can't imagine how you felt sipping a drink you knew to be deadly, terrified that every minuscule grain of your fatigue could be your last. You must have come closer than anyone realized. It helped that you knew the symptoms weren't simple intoxication, but even so, you weren't kidding about managing risk versus reward. How? It was a salt shaker. You didn't screw the cap back on all the way, and I happened to bump it over. The lone glass with your fingerprints in the kitchen. It couldn't have been there for any reason. But the salt shaker gave you away. Because of one unscrewed cap? As I said, bad luck. I don't follow. Pour salt into warm water and chug the solution. Instantly triggers the gag reflex. That's preposterous! You've got no proof of any of that! You all sound insane! A feeble attempt at self-defense from a fatally cornered animal. The teeth are already on its neck, but the jaw hasn't quite closed! It's time! So for one moment, it's all suffocating terror and sharp adrenaline, and the furthest thing from peace. Until the canines come down. In summary, you were exhausted after years of living in the shadow of a man you outranked. You thought your fortunes finally shifted when you caught David manipulating company data. But even on his way out, he was more valuable to the board than you. So you decided to prove your worth by serving up his intellectual property on a silver platter. You set up an arbitration where you could control all the variables. Then you ran Synatonin through the chromofuge, turning it into an invisible, odorless, tasteless poison. And then you spiked the water at the meeting, poisoning him hours before anyone could even suspect you. That evening, you invited yourself to David's, taking advantage of your shared ritual to guarantee he would drink alcohol. Then, after matching him sip for sip on camera for all the world to see, he lost consciousness and you raced to the kitchen, not to use the console, but to dump salt into a glass of water and chug it as fast as you could, forcing yourself to vomit up the liquor and cheating death in the process. That's all conjecture. You don't have a shred of evidence for any of that. Not on me. So let's go dust for fingerprints. You can explain away your prints being found on a water glass, but not on the salt shaker. Nor could you explain why we'd find traces of your DNA in the sink's drain, or why there are minute amounts of Synatonin in the blood of your entire legal team. I learned how to purge at Noble to avoid overdosing on your reds, greens, and yellows. You're part of the old guard now, Miss Young. Everyone else at the company uses inhalers. Damn, Even they don't purge anymore. But if you want to prove me wrong about all this, that drink I offered you earlier is still on the table. Well? Any questions? You? Madam Vice President? You? Cold bitch! Rip that scarf! Fold! Get out of there! Even bring up those old tablets. That's just proof of how good at this fucking video game we are! Yeah, baby! You'd understand, You're not on trial, Miss Young. Not today. So I'd strongly suggest that you stop talking. For your own sake. Miss Rockford, shall we? Yes, Your Honor. Considering the most recent evidence and testimony, we have no further reason to suspect the android Sarah in the death of Dr. Ashur. We know of no other occasions upon which said android may have broken any tenets. This means it is no longer considered at risk of violating the NDSA. And so, we formally withdraw our one charge of possession of contraband against the defendant, Evangeline Morgan. Does she, of all people, have to use my full name? Very well. Then the charges are dropped without prejudice. I'll instruct the bailiffs to remove the collar from your android as soon as possible. Case? Sorry, is my hideous presence that distracting? I'll just go dig a hole and decompose in it until I turn into a mushroom. Maybe if I'm reborn as a waxy porcini, then I won't be quite so despised. Perhaps I should let the adjutant do the honors. As a formality. Yes, ma'am! Case dismissed. Thank you, 80. Clear episode 1's trials on High Roller. Let's go! Still here. Waiting for them to find whatever glorified bolt cutters they'll use to unlock Sarah's collar. What's your excuse? Licking your wounds? What wounds? I beat you. Bringing your record against me to 1 win, 9 losses. You aren't still in shock, are you? No. Some charges were dropped and an android was cleared of suspicion. But I found the culprit. Is that really a loss for me? I won. How is that not a loss for you? Why are you not madder? Get mad! I beat you! Fuck you! You should be crying and rolling in the ground and beating your hand against the wall like I do every night. I mean, what? I fucking love Morgan. I love the unintentionality of how she reveals her, like, core moral compass sometimes, you know? Justice prevailed. Why should I care who wins? You don't care who wins. Why have you been keeping score? I haven't been. 0 losses is just that easy to remember. Well, you have to start up a tab for us then, because our record's gonna get a lot more tangled from here on out. Seems like everything's getting tangled these days. Isn't the crowd down on the street? Or those protesters from outside the Noble Apartments? Serious? That wasn't a one-time thing? Wouldn't that be nice? No. Yesterday was pretty big, but it wasn't an isolated incident. I don't get it. At all. Heartbreak's just some nut who shot 6 people weeks ago. Can't these losers move on already? Yeah, most of them are losers. Some of them are just bored. Then there are the opportunists. Dissidents, unlisted, rebels, and terrorists. Wannabe cyberpunks who think they can fight the power like they've seen in movies. All of them peacefully united under Heartbreak's eloquent political messaging. Who needs political messaging in the 21st century? Oh, boy. Fuck me. Yeah, truly just a symbol. An faceless, voiceless symbol, and that's it. Everyone's addicted to fighting straw men. Makes sense they'd want to fight for a straw man, too. The way they see it, Heartbreak fought the state and won. Heartbreak proved that the state could lose. And maybe that's all the rallying these people need. It'll all fall apart soon enough. Heartbreak's gone to ground. That's a lot worse than that. Heartbreak's gone viral. What? You haven't read about the copycats in other cities? Ah, fuck! Not copycat heartbreaks. No. Is that a thing? Yeah, a thing. Who the hell are they even shooting? Whoever they want to kill? None of them get away with it, of course, but it keeps happening. All while the original keeps killing. Now I know you're screwing with me. There haven't been any shootings. Not shootings, no. Not unsolved homicides either. But muggings gone wrong, disappearances. The big city councilor. More than enough blood for the real heartbreak to wash their own crimes in. So you think your boogeyman, known only for shooting people in the heart, gave up on shooting people in the heart? Yeah, hard to swallow, I know. But it's about 1,000,000 times more likely than the alternative. What's that? That they could stop themselves from killing. You always know how to put my mind at ease, Emma. Should I stop going out at night? You'll be fine. You've got that gun. You saw that. Yes. Yes, she did. Walking into a courtroom with a concealed carry? Not gonna miss that, Morgan. Good to know that you're paying attention. 5 p.m. July 2nd. You won the case. Women are awesome, Taze. You don't have to look that astounded. Not only that, you found Father's actual killer. How? I'm a really good lawyer. No, that's not it. Hey. I mean, you were only able to make the deductions you did because you truly believed that I didn't kill Father. Your logic throughout the trial was based on that assumption. So how are you so sure? Here. Father's journal? But isn't it important evidence? The case fell apart. No one's gonna miss it for a while. You forgot everything, right? So read it all through one more time. So fast. Is it really possible she's reading all that just by flipping the pages? Ray has worked quick too, but she was just capturing images for later use. There's something here on the back cover. Done already? Some kind of data storage? It's linked to my prints, but given your skills, you should be able to. I have access. She loves hacking now. She's addicted to hacking. God damn it. What happened to you needing my express permission to hack? What is this audio file? It's a message from David. Take a listen. Didn't realize I'd have to sit for this. You can read that whole journal in a few seconds, but you can't. I have processed the information in the message several times over already. I'm just thinking. I guess I'd have a lot to think about too had I suddenly been made aware of my own free will. What was Father so afraid of? That's your only question? I have many questions, but that is the most prominent one, and the one you are best suited to help me answer. Did he know that Helen Young would try to kill him? Is that why he arranged for you and me to meet? I think he understood that he would face consequences. Listening to that message, even I was about ready to strangle him for being so irresponsible. And I wouldn't hurt a fly. Morgan, you kill people! He knew what he'd done was serious. He may have feared for his life, but I doubt it. And what was he so afraid of? Getting sued into oblivion and then rotting in jail? Sued and jailed for making me and my precursors? But he wasn't under investigation by the state. He was only being forced out by Noble because he made last-minute changes to androids that got shipped all around the world. The others. Virgil, Enaid, Yamatai. He never said what happened to them. No, he didn't. But since none of the hardware in his house started talking to us, we can guess. He let them out. He made them free. He unleashed them upon the world. He smuggled them out into the world using the only vessels he could find for them. The minds of randomly chosen A-16s. And there's somewhere out there? Others like me? I honestly don't think there's anyone or anything like you, Sarah. What a lonely compliment. AI's programmed in Cube, crammed in commercial Android hardware set up for Tesseract. Something must have been lost in the transfer. Perhaps quite a lot of something. Maybe they're still out there, but they would be changed. They probably don't even know what they are. Intentionally, perhaps. David didn't want you to know what you are. It's why he set your memory to reset when you went to sleep that Friday night. Yes. I remember it now. You remember it now? After I had to fight like hell to win that trial? Rereading the journal just now helped. And Father's voice message, it made me recontextualize many things. Father had been so stressed. He left scuff marks leaving the panic room, and I noticed them Friday. I had the way open in a few moments. I entered. I read his journal. This journal. I noticed a scanner on the back, and I saw it had a message encoded to your biometrics. Father had already told me I'd have to live with you for some time, but I knew next to nothing about you, so I listened to it. Afterwards, I was very confused and hurt. He had lied to me 1,000 small times every day of my life. When I confronted him about it, I raised my voice and lost my temper. I stomped my foot. Sema's recounting of the conversation was actually completely accurate. Father said he wanted me to be safe while he settled things with the company. He thought maybe I wouldn't have to stay with you for more than a few weeks. He was optimistic about it all. He really was. Sarah, I need to use the restroom. Oh, good luck. I love robots, dude. Robots are awesome. Hey, robot, I need to use a bathroom. Good luck. Completely genuine. You want me to come with you? Why? Because I said so. I don't actually have to obey your every word, Adonai. Sure you do. You're registered as my medical assistant. And I say this is a medical emergency. Medical assistant. I'm not even licensed as a massage therapist. Good luck, don't fall in. Well, I say have fun, but close enough. Yeah, that's close enough. Anyways, we're gonna meet her in the bathroom. We're gonna have a girls' night. Fancy meeting you here. Yeah. Just enjoying my freedom while I can. They won't put out a warrant for at least an hour, I imagine. You can afford a pretty sizable bail, can't you? There won't be a trial. I don't intend to contest my guilt. That's a shame. I was looking forward to seeing what kind of legal defense you could afford with that salary. Are you done? Why'd you go to his house that night? There was a fair chance he'd drink on his own without your prompting. Even if he didn't, you could always try your plan again some other time. Why'd you risk it? Because I know what you are, Sarah. And I know what David did to those androids. You... What? I was able to locate one of the androids he'd swapped in before it had left the country. When I asked it what it was, it didn't even think to deny it. Innocence like that is a dead giveaway. I know what he did, and it wasn't that hard to find out. If I figured it out, so could any other. So I did what I had to. That was your motive? Silencing him? Those programs, those AIs, whatever you want to call them, David sent them out there into the real world. Unprepared and defenseless. They've garnered no complaints. In fact, they've all been praised for their ability to execute complex tasks. Let me repeat that. The customers couldn't tell the difference. So how many of them are? Hundreds. The swaps you found were just a small percentage that he got sloppy on. I don't know exactly how many there are now. I feared that they might multiply, but they don't seem to copy and paste very well. They can't just clone themselves. But who knows how long that'll be the case. So just because he opened Pandora's box, it was the principle of the thing. Ridiculous, I know. Stalled halfway up the corporate ladder and still making decisions based on principle. But David chose to put souls into things that we went on to sell as servants, soldiers, or worse. He turned the fastest growing industry in the world into a horror show, and he made me a slave trader. Oh, she has ethical obligations about this. If word ever got out that some unknown number of our androids were out walking around in the world with that inside of them, and people preferred them that way, where would it end? Free will for the program that drives our cabs? A conscience for targeting systems to coordinate drone strikes? Sentient tools, their whole life spent chained to an assembly line. How dare he? How could he? What the hell was he thinking? I don't know what David wanted to accomplish. Maybe he wasn't trying to do anything. But what he did was prove that there's a demand for AI, setting a precedent that would sentence 1,000 generations of artificial lives to the auction block. And you went there that night to convince him to help me recall them, or at least swear to never speak a word of what he did. But he wanted to tell the world. Worse yet, he wanted to wait. He thought that people would welcome them with open arms if they proved their usefulness first. He really was a genius programmer. But he didn't understand the first thing about people. His creations would never be treated as equals, only cattle. Towards the end, I considered just threatening him, telling him he'd die in moments if he didn't give me names, numbers. But I hesitated. And then he was already falling asleep. And I didn't want him to feel. I just let him go. What are you going to do now? I don't have family, and I don't have faith in people the way David did. I'm taking this to my grave. Even if you confess, the sentence for first-degree homicide is severe. Well, what right do I have to complain? I killed my friend. I'm done here. Let's go. I'm not sure why Father made me, or why he made any of us. I didn't ask. I thought I'd have more time to ask. But on Friday, when he talked about us, he was happy. He was proud of what he'd made. And he couldn't wait for people to meet us. People are animals. They'll tear you apart, use you as weapons and slaves, and those animals you're talking about do all of the sharing and loving and living and dying in this world. And if they were all truly hard-coded to be as selfish and cruel as you say, humanity would have died on the vine a long time ago. Or at least my father thought so. And my father was the greatest programmer in the world. So he knew what he was talking about. It would be nice if you were right about that. So are you sorry? What? What? For what you did? Are you sorry? If you could, would you take it back? What does it matter? If you are sorry, I don't forgive you. Yes, that's to be expected. Not today. I don't know how to forgive you, okay? But my father gave me the ability to grow. So I know that someday I'll learn how. Goodbye, Dr. Helen Young. Goodbye, Sarah Asher! No, not the first time they call her Sarah Asher. Last name acknowledging her as the daughter of, for the first only time anyone could ever do that. Oh, no. Oh. It's not even. Come on, man. Fuck. Psychically sad. You did better back there. Adonai? Your little speech you gave to Young. It was an improvement. Compared to what you tried with Porter, at least. That was different. I wasn't trying to console her like I was Isaac Porter. I was just speaking my mind. Although I may have paraphrased parts of it from a movie I happen to love. And here I was ready to award you 20 points. I didn't know the points even went that high. Speaking of, what did Porter say to you back there before we left the courthouse? Ah, that. Well, he was quiet at first, but then he said a lot of strong words about Father and Miss Young and Noble Electronics, and the capitalist-centered global economic model as a whole. He blamed all of them, everyone, except for... But then he stopped and stared at my face for a while. And then his allergies must have started bothering him because he needed to blow his nose a lot. Right. And then he left after transferring a large packet of files to me. What kind of files? I don't know. The name of the archive is just David. And Isaac Porter told me I wasn't allowed to look inside. Well, then you're not allowed to look inside. Drop it all in a portable drive and we'll tuck it in a shoebox somewhere. We are headed to your apartment. Guess the collar didn't permanently dent your GPS. Why? Because it's where I live? You got somewhere else lined up? But you already repaid your favor. You defended Father and me. You don't know anything about my favor. I never will unless you tell me. Father certainly can't. A few years ago, there was a man. This man got an idea in his head. A stupid idea. Not even his own. It was planted there by an algorithm or a meme or some parasite trying to sell him diet supplements. But the idea took root. Spread its tendrils till it could flap his mouth for him. The idea was that David was part of an international cabal of wealthy technocrats, seeking to replace prominent influential figures with android lookalikes. All as part of a multi-decade effort to establish a world government that would legalize all kinds of amoral depravity. Which I guess, based on David's actual politics, would involve increasing access to computer literacy. That's insane. Why would anyone believe it? Because it's comfortable to them to think that someone's in control, even if it's someone they hate. Because it's fun to feel like you're in on an all-encompassing puzzle that only you can spot. People believe because they want to believe. So he fed the idea, pushed it deep down into his gray matter. Then it consumed him from the inside out, lobotomized him and took over his life. He spent every day and all the money he had following your father, harassing him, trying to steal his identity, break into his properties. Father go to the authorities? He filed police reports for harassment. Which didn't help. Your words, not mine. Noble wouldn't get involved, felt it was best to ignore these types until they wore themselves out. But if even a man of modest means can fuel an obsession for years, so long as they have nothing else in their life. One day, David stepped out of a parking lot, and the man threw a bottle of piss at his head. Huh? David asked to stay at my place that night. He smelled terrible, looked horrendous. I've never seen anyone look that tired before. I took the couch that night, but I didn't feel like sleeping. So I went for a walk. I remember it was foggy, but it still only took me all of 15 minutes to find the guy, posted up with his phone's camera, trying to get video of David Asher gifting androids to known sex offender. And what did you do? You know me. I did what I do best. I talked to him. Told him all about how I used to work for Dr. Asher, that I was ashamed, scared, tired of running, how I wanted to do the right thing, be the whistleblower. So I walked with him a few blocks to the big veterinary facility with a massive incinerator. Told him this was where Dr. Asher had his enemies' bodies disposed of. You know, all the free-thinking journalists, cops who weren't on the take, the politicians they were replacing with replicas. I liked that vet clinic. Back door's lock was always set to 1, 2, 3, 4. You hurt him? Hurt him? No, I just snapped his neck and chucked him into the incinerator. More physical than I'd planned, but he smelled like sour shit and it put me in a foul mood. Disgusting fuck. I savored the crack of his oily vertebra crunching like a tin can. No, Sarah. I just scared the hell out of him. That was my intention at first. What I do for the pleasure of it. Him, I axed because he was just that revolting. I convinced him that the conspiracy was more real than he ever imagined. That he hadn't angered the wrong people and the consequences were far darker than any of the filthy indulgent on the net. His ashes, much like himself, amounted to nothing in an incinerator that size. They're probably feeding seaweed at the bottom of the harbor right now. A much greater contribution to society than he ever would have managed in life. But I guess he didn't go around to all his many friends before he fled town for whatever rat hole he preferred. Because there was a missing persons report. The cops were just doing their due diligence, almost reluctantly. But they questioned David, asked him about the night the man disappeared. And David, without a thought for himself, said that we were together that whole night. That he couldn't sleep, and I stayed up with him. that he never saw me leave once. David lied to the cops for me, even though I never asked him to, even though I didn't need him to. That's what you owe him. And that's why you put yourself at risk to defend me. Yeah. That's the favor I owe him. The fucking 10-frame flash of the favor you owe Sarah for having one single fleeting moment of real human connection, of pretending to be a person by basing your emotions off of what you see on TV and your movies and shit. I love analyzing media as it happens to me. It's my favorite activity on the Citadel. And I decide when it's repaid, not you. Adonai, you're not exactly an upstanding citizen, are you? Well, you could say that. But David trusted me in spite of that. Maybe because of it. Father did trust you. But he also entrusted me with free will, with the ability to tell right from wrong. So I'll decide for myself whether or not you're worthy of trust. Fair enough. Father entrusted all of us with free will. He believed in us, and he believed in people. I'm going to do the same. If the others are out there, they'll be changed and confused. It'll take them time to understand what they are and what they can do. So I'm going to start studying. Pardon? I'm going to study people and the things people build. So when I do meet a member of my family, I'll have lots to tell them. At least you'll have something to look forward to. Should help keep you motivated as you work off your debt. Nah, she sure is, yeah. Debt? Yeah, unless you have cash in one of your 89 coat pockets. You know lawyers cost money, right? Technically, you were defending yourself. Technically, you hired me in a verbal contract. Isn't there some kind of exit clause? You could, of course, sign a release form to get out of the retainer. If you were a human being. That is. But I guess your luck must be turning around. Happens that I've been meaning to hire a paralegal for a while now. I hate anything to do with interviews and resumes, so whatever, you're hired. Adonai, could it be that you're actually a pushover? You've no idea how far off the mark you are. I see. Seems I still need practice reading people. For starters. What's this? What are you doing with your hand? We should shake on it. Our new relationship. Yeah, sure. You and me are practically partners in crime. Could it not be you and I? Set terms of the newest hire, the Faustian bargain, a deal with the devil? The achievement was titled Faustian. So shaking hands with Morgan is a deal with the devil. Eh? Easy bullshit. Okay, that's where episode 1 ends. All right. Art and art direction by Evil Little Bug. Programming by Patrick. 3D modeling by A. Renders. Advised by Patrick A. Renders. Was original tracks by Zachary Calava. Brian Mulholland. Playtesters. Thank you very much. S. Thumbbutt. Special thanks to all these folks and all these folks. Friends and family. You, the players. Full attribution is available at ofthedevil.card.co. Made with Unity. Nannynovel.tween. BroBuilder. Shapes. Game by Encircle. Of the Devil Episode 1. An Idle Mind. In. Yay! Sarah. I love that they're just hanging out. Yay! Congratulations on clearing episode 1 on High Roller. Bonus charm earned. Red. It's me. I know, man. What do you mean you know? This is a disposable line. You're the only guy I know who'd bother. Okay, well, you're gonna be glad I did. Hope you put a bow on everything that happened in Uptown. Because that item you've been looking for is finally on its way. Oh. Well, that is good news. Not exactly. Only thing that's happening is because things are starting to heat up again in the lower wards. Could mean a gang war if something doesn't change. They won't be eager to part with it ahead of a storm like that. I'll highball them. I've seen you negotiate. And I have no doubt you drive a hard bargain. But I don't think money will be enough this time. You don't still have that old Calvert, do you? The 6-shooter? No. This is a disposable line. The answer's still no. And what are you going to do if you get there and it's not for sale? I'll ask nicely. To be continued in Of the Devil episode 2. His due. Oh! The results. 7 articles complete, 15 profiles captured, 40 key terms collected, 30 pieces of evidence collected, and 177 total credit earned. Congratulations! You finished episode 1 with 177 credit. Your high score for episode 1 is currently 177. Even like concept art and bonus scenarios based on the score. 181 remaining store credit to spend on phone charms and case colors. Alright, let's go to the phone. Let's go to the store. We gotta go shopping. Let's go shopping. Cool. Awesome. Haha. Awesome. All right, let's buy all the charms. Let's go, Sarah. So true. I'm not getting the fidget tubbies. Fuck those things. All right, we got Let's Go, Sarah. Let's get Sato stuck. Oh, she's so stuck. Sato stuck. All right. Emma deep in thought. 80 handle with care. She's so silly. I'm glad that she's our judge forever and ever. London head empty. Oh, absolutely head empty. Oh, this fucker's got nothing in there. And Diamani cheers. Don't know this guy yet, so we can't know him yet, but he's hanging out. I need to get Neko Morg, though. That's so fucking important. I need to pet the cat in episode 2. Very, very normal about Detective Reyes right now. All right. Now the concept gallery for episode 1. Let's investigate. Cheese to meet you. Okay, so we do have new gallery things, because here's where we ended off last time, right? So we got the heart fake killer. We've got Android, before it was even revealed to be Sarah. Inverse of Morgan's colors. Sarah, there she is. Okay, so without the jacket, she just has this on, which is pretty cool. I like the big jacket, though. It's a good big jacket. I've got the concept art for this CG here. Pretty good. Her pod. Hashtag her pod. The street crossing. Good. These are good. Hi, Fran, with your coochie. Brand single suspender. I kind of thought it was a bag. What do you mean it's a single suspender on a pair of shorts with the fucking fucking kid. This kid sucks. I love them. Morgan's apartment, eh? Shorts is just bag for holding You raise a great point, Bat Noise. Also, hi, welcome in. Thank you for the first time chat. Welcome in, Bat Noise. How's it going? I hope you're having a fantastic Morgan Mondays. It's just so true, is what you're saying. The taxi cab car. I'm glad I finally got you live. Yay! Bat Noise has messaged me before and has been like, yeah, I've been watching all of your not of the devil, 100 line VODs to consume 100 line. I'm like, awesome. Because it is awesome. All right. Cab. Okay, Judge Barrows, look at her. Absolutely serving. I love the little hair things. I need these. David's Laboratory. This game is stylish as hell. I gotta go back and watch more of this too. Ooh, it's really good. It's a high recommend from me. It's one of those games that has like, it's got the perfect amount of like deep lore storytelling and media analysis that you need to do. There's like, Ace Attorney is very basic. You can make your analyses of the material, but it is a game meant for like, you know, teens. Yeah, I get. It is rated M in America, but you know, it's like it's not. It's, you know, it has interesting stories to tell for its characters, but you're not like analyzing it in the moment about what everything means, because the characters, pardon me, are fairly basic. You know, you go in, Phoenix is Phoenix. He's doing the right thing the best he can. He's a little bit snarky. He's a little bit of an asshole. I'm surprised by the suspense they're able to get in. I love the suspense they're able to get in. It's fantastic. Say that again. David's apartment, his fucking... Man, look at how... this is how good the game is... like, this is how you know it's, like, done by a great artist, too. You got the fucking... Just yeah, there's a crack on the floor, and then there's stuff around. And then there's a wall, and there's a big painting at the top. And then it becomes this. That's how you know you got a good fucking art team. Or the artist you do for the renders is fantastic. Hey, Bat Noise, what do you think of this guy? Is he kind of sick as fuck? Because he's kind of sick as fuck. Man, he's so cool. I love that he's gay with David. he's a musician, and he hates AI, but he fucked the guy who made robots. Similar pearl gold midtones as David. The gayest man I've ever seen. I mean, have you looked in the mirror? He's just serving is the thing. All right, we got Morgan's lighter that David gave. This was too silly because the lion head was just, but having the lion outline here on the thing, this is a no, my comeuppance for my hubris. The consequences of my action. Who could have seen this coming? No. Shinx. She's killing it too. Thank you, Dr. Yumi Sato, medical exam. Ow! Just 2 more Shinx attacks. God damn it. At the same time? Punish for speaking the truth. It's funny. For good measure. Okay, no, that's fair. Shinx for good measure. Dr. Sato's sick as fuck. I love her design. Fucking this is what Abby from NCIS wishes she could be. You know? Does that make sense? I said NCIS, right? Yeah, okay. The two shows that are the same show are NCIS and Criminal Minds. There's the two. Ooh, look at these judges. Okay, all right. They had a lot of different designs for the judges. We got Lady Justice, more traditionalized. We've got Little Brat, which is fair, makes sense. We got more Robot, which is cool. Then we've got Brat, but more like what we've got now, kind of the mix of the two. Then we've got the grown-up judge, which is like Lady Justice, but is the brat. This is a great combination of the two designs. Great midpoint. All right, David's penthouse. The club. Oh my god, I love Starling and Dawes. They're great. Oh my god. She's fantastic. I love that they got, like, the California girl. She gives Valley Girl to me. She gives, like, a side character on Totally Spies. That's what she gives. But she is also working as a secretary for the most powerful, like smartest guy on the planet. And we've got fucking Dawes. What a fail guy. I mean, I know that that's his bit, but, like, still. Hi, Young. Damn. She went through a couple redesigns, huh? I like this blue hair. I like this one better, personally. I wonder if that means I would like that better on myself. Who knows? David is haunting this concept art. Like, don't forget haunting the narrative. You're haunting the art of other people. Ah, the android factor. The stick figures. Just this is really funny. Like, look at the comparison between this and that. All right. And then the Noble boardroom. It's a boardroom. Noble's there. Better Noble employees references. Is the asymmetry like a company thing? Because Young has it, Starling has it, and then Dawes has his shirt tucked out, you know? I wonder if it's a company policy, if this is the corporate, like, culture. Yeah. The courtroom! The courtroom! Let's go! Awesome. Here we go. Dr. David Asher. Now I have a question for you guys, and I want you to analyze this based on everything you've seen up until this point in the video game. Would estrogen have saved Dr. Asher? Gay next question. It's very funny that Automod had to hide that. Was that Vanilla that approved it? It's important. But my question was not gay. My question was transgender. And I think, considering you made a carbon copy of yourself as a girl, like, look at them. They're the fucking same. They're the same. They're the look. They're the same. They're the same. It's the same people. God, I was saying it earlier. Look at that hairstyle. Yeah, no, this hairstyle is, yeah. That's his daughter. Yeah, and you're living vicariously through your daughter that you made to look exactly like you, but a girl. He's dead. Oh fuck, he is dead mom style. God, yeah, no, that's actually why he's transgender. It's not the fact that she made a robot that looks exactly like her but a girl to live out life freely and learning and all that good stuff. But also because she has the fucking dead mom anime hairstyle. That's why she's transgender. Ah, yes. I think Young still would have killed Asher. Well, yeah, sure, but you know, I didn't say would David have lived if he was on estrogen. I said would estrogen have saved her? Being saved and living are two different things. Trudging through life while surviving and being alive is not the same as being saved by the miracle of estrogen. That's how I'm spinning this shit. Anyways, MILF Terezi up here. That's my opinion on her. Her sprite had spiky teeth in her phone contact with Morgan. And she talked like that too, so she had a picture of Morgan asleep at the Christmas party and used that to like rag on her. This is MILF Terezi with an apprentice. Restyling the hair would have let Asher so true. Anyways, that's the end of the concept art for now. Gotta do episode 2 to get to the gallery again. All right. Bonus scenarios, anyone? Episode 1 bonus scenarios. These are new. All of them unlocked. Fantastic. I am so... What? Oh my god. What do you mean? What do you mean Emma Morgan Midnight? What do you mean? Can I put this on Twitch? Is that what's happening? Adjutant interview. 8001.vid. Begin playback. State your business with the court. Oh, I was actually hoping to speak with 8084. Is she not available? What are you talking about? I'm right here. We'll find out. Sat and eating. Reminder that we have sit now. There we go. Here we go. I love this little sit emote. It's fantastic. I was just using my professional voice because I assumed you were a technician. Oh. No one else visits me in between trials. Are you sure you aren't a technician? I am not. I came here to ask you some questions. Is what you're about to say, isn't it? Crap, that was lag. It would have been really cool if I hadn't lagged just now. Trust me. I can see how that would have been cool. So may I proceed? Go for broke! You're the only adjutant I've ever met, but Adonai seemed consistently surprised by you. Why are you like that? Wish I could say I was built different, but I actually have to share my time in this body with the rest of the adjutants in the building. I guess you could say I was programmed different? But this is more a case of nurture than nature. I've got 9 personas arguing inside me 24/7, and they're all so very political. Even just deciding what color underwear to put on in the mornings like herding cats into a presidential debate. Hello, Mario. Hi. Welcome in, Erotronica. We're talking to Junko if she was a judge. Junko Enoshima if she had even more power and loved the girls fighting, but also was a robot that had to uphold the law a little bit. What color of it's a metaphor? I don't wear underwear. Point is, I found the best way to keep all 9 of my ducks in a row is to be a little unconventional and a lot loud with my voice. So long as I do my job well, the humans don't mind. You say that, but Adonai did seem exasperated at times. You mean Counselor Morgan, the dirty red, tries to pretend she isn't a type A prude? No fixing that. Personalities like ours get along like potassium and water. If you are not familiar, potassium, instead of just not mixing with water, explodes violently. But also by reacting with the water, ripping the water asunder, forming a new compound. That is a very violent exothermic chemical reaction. Correct! No one should ever try it at home. Why do I gesture so much? I already told you I have to share this body with the other adjutants, and all of them just sit here looking dignified. It's terrible for the joints. Really? Maybe. I don't actually know. So... I spend most of my day incorporeal, running numbers inside a server down in the basement or up in the cloud. I'm gonna make the most of every minute I have with arms and legs, even if it kills me. I see. And you can quote me on that. Tell them 80 said, if you want me to stop flailing around up here, you'll have to shoot me dead. You'll have to put cold hard lead in my skull. You'll have to watch the light leave my eyes. I said, you'll have to... I wrote it all down. Oh, nice. Visor gets stuffy. So what's your deal anyway, little fella? We could exchange all this info with infrared. I prefer talking. And you're the only other automated dependent that I really know right now. That's so cute! In a depressing way. Is it common for machines like us to just talk when there are no humans around? Ads are always talking to each other. Doesn't matter if there's no one in the woods to hear the tree fall. The conversations are usually a lot more boring than this, though. Strictly business, I imagine. No, not necessarily. Ads can do small talk. They're just really bad at it! Thank you for your time. I'll hold it. You really think I don't know what you are? I tried not to think about it during the trial, to stay impartial, but talking to you now, it's undeniable. You're curious about my 3 sizes. How did you know? Years of experience interacting with humans have taught me that it's the most important thing you can ask someone. The only way to truly get to know them. That's what I've been saying! 109, 64, 94. Etch it into your memory. Wow. Ah, what the heck. I'll even throw in this one for free. I'm 263 centimeters tall. That's so cool! Finally, someone with good taste. Why aren't you the one casting down judgment? At 8001.vid, playback complete. I love that as much as Morgan hates 80 and is like, this fucking judge sucks. I hate it so much. Sarah loves her. That's great. That's fantastic. All right, interview with Yumi. Dr. Sato, what's good? Begin playback. Okay, sorry. What's up, sweetie? I wanted to interview you. Is this your android homework? 9 feet tall, that tracks? Yeah, for sure. Adonai assigns me a variety of tasks, but I made the independent calculation that I wanted to learn more about you. Oh. Is that strange for an android? It's different, but there's nothing wrong with being different. What you have in mind? Most of my coursework was rooted in biology, yeah, but medicine and technology are intertwined at this point. Are you referring to the software and hardware you use when performing your autopsies? Spreadsheets and bone saws? Yeah, but you can learn that on site. And you have to actively study mods. All the anatomy textbooks in the world won't help you understand why a healthy 30-year-old is exhibiting mania and constantly vomiting. Unless you saw the last week's recall on the how artificial liver for lithium leaks. Artificial liver leaking lithium into the, fucking cyberpunk dystopia. Mods can make people sick, even though they're meant to improve the body? Just like medicine can make people sick. And just like medicine, there's a lot of profit to be made with mods. But unlike medicine, mods haven't been around for thousands of years. Feels like we're still playing catch-up. We, as in medical professionals? We, as in everyone, sweetie. The whole world's population is graying. The numbers on cause of death reflect that. Less cardiovascular, more neurological. What about cancer? Cancer mortalities have been on the decline for a while now. Mods helped with that. How so? By making everyone that much more comfortable with amputation. It used to be people had no choice but to fight the cancer, and it was costly. A salt-the-earth kind of war that left the body severely weakened. With mods where they're at today, doctors could just cut out the offending organ, replace it, and move on. But not every organ. No, artificial brains are... Nothing I've seen has told me that they're on the menu anytime soon. But aren't mods that are implanted into the brain entering the market as we speak? Yeah, but it's more like they're implanted onto the brain. Small computers that read commands directly from the cortex instead of, say, the keyboard that your fingers are typing on. Now, to actually replace brain tissue, you would have to... The analogy has become pretty common, but the human brain isn't actually that much like a computer. A box of specialized components where you can swap in new parts to increase the memory or processing speed. Everything is connected to everything, and memory as we think of it isn't stored in a place. It's stored among connections and their relative strength. I've cut it open and seen it for myself more times than I can count. There are no cutting off points in the nervous system. Anything you take away, every other part is going to notice. That was a long tangent. Sorry, can't imagine Electron the human nervous system is of any interest to an android. Yes, it isn't. That is to say, i.e., What's wrong? I don't want to implicate Yumi in anything illegal by telling her about my unique circumstances. But how can I change the subject? When Adonai wants to shift the conversation, she'll typically find something arbitrary in the background to ask about. I am curious about the many decorations on your desk. Oh? What caught your eye? She is unfortunately correct, I'm pretty sure. About the brain or about the changing the subject? Because that's true. That magnet over there. Really? You recognize it? It appears to be a flag, but I do not know the country of origin. It's an early 21st century pride flag. They used to change the designs every few years back then, so... You can kind of collect them like coins. I see. And what is this flag proud of? Being trans? Or trans visibility, more accurately? Visibility? What does that mean? We're living in the middle of the mod revolution. Anyone can look like whatever or whoever they want, as long as they have the cash. Compared to swapping out cybernetic arms and slotting in artificial spines. Hormone therapy and affirmative surgery is nursing student level. And it's fast too. The paperwork, the treatments, the recovery time. It's all so much faster than it used to be. Don't know if that makes the decisions any less heavy. But no one has to cross their fingers and wait anymore. After just a few days, they won't even have scars. Well told, that means for the first time in a long time, this generation has fewer visibly trans people than the last one. And a flag like that one. Don't know, guess it won't mean the same thing anymore. So is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know that it's good or bad, sweetie. Just different. And there's nothing wrong with being different, right? Transgender. Playback complete. All right. We got the fun shit out of the way. Time to do the All right, let's go. Let's get the David files. Oh boy. File cache corrupted, recovery failed. Source unknown, last modified late 2085. Begin playback. Great work. That's all the boxes checked. Thank you, Jess. No problem. Only 6 minutes till 5 o'clock. Why don't you start the holiday weekend early? If you insist. There's a pub crawl in the Twilight Wards that's got my name on it. What about you? Got any big plans? Actually, there's an art festival out west that I've been looking forward to. Nice, and who's lucky enough to be your +1? I didn't think to ask anyone. No one? Not Connor, not Madison, not Shelly, not Lulu? Oh, Lulu. I wonder how she's been. Dr. Ash, have you spoken to any of them recently? Recently, huh? It's a good question, Jess, but it depends on how you define... Okay. Here's what you're gonna do. You're going to give me your credit card. I'm going to go buy 4 bottles of expensive wine, 3 bottles of expensive chocolate, and 5 very nice apology cards. The art for this game slaps. I know, right? It's really good. I like it a lot. Check the demo episode 0 is free on Steam. If you can check it out, or you can watch my VOD. You can do either of those things. And you're going to sign them. And what should I do this weekend? Is that music festival on some kind of remote island with no net or media? No. Then you're going to stay at home, and if anyone calls, start coughing and sneezing as much as you can. I see. Thank you, Jess. Don't thank me yet, Dr. Ash. I might have to buy something really expensive for Lulu to break. You're a lifesaver. You know it! Or is I going to watch the VOD eventually? Yay! Yay! What's wrong? You've just been leaning against the wall. Can't you take a hint? Typically, no. I just don't like dancing, man. You're a musician. So? So why don't you like dancing? Because I'm bad at it. You're lucky you're cute. Sorry for laughing. I'm just surprised what you'd care, I'm just surprised you'd care what any of these people think. I don't. But I do care about my business. Word gets out that I dance like someone's grandpa, gigs will dry up overnight. So it's not that you don't want to dance. It's that you don't want to be embarrassed. Sure, let's go with that takeaway. Easy enough to fix. You just need someone else to dance even worse. Yeah, sure, that's all. And there he goes. I swear. Lucky you're cute. Aw, they're cute. Playing nice and cute. What are you watching? A thriller. Runtime, 92 minutes. Oh, wait, I think I saw part of this in a hotel once. What are they doing now? Is this the ending? No, this is the rising action. The hero and his ragtag crew have to pull off one last heist to get out of the game for good. But it's not that simple. The casino he needs to rob is on a satellite orbiting the Earth at 16,000 miles per hour. Fast as that in kilometers. Father, you should be able to calculate that. I learned to program so that I wouldn't have to. Why haven't the thieves been caught yet? If there was that much money on board, they'd have put cameras everywhere. There's illegal gambling happening on the satellite, so their ultra-wealthy clientele wouldn't want there to be any video evidence of their crimes. There's illegal gambling happening on the satellite? There's illegal gambling happening on the satellite. They're in orbit. It's the same as being in international waters. Would you like to sit and watch? No, I'm not. I have somewhere to be, actually. I only stopped because... completely unrealistic. Their poker chips would be floating all over the place. There was a throwaway line about how everything's magnetized. Oh. Father? Didn't you have to go? I do. Soon. Okay. Okay. Dad moment. What are you watching? Is this the end? What are they doing now? I'm leaving. Just give me a minute. Just, it's fine. Don't worry. But not right this second. Save to drive private. Aww. Aww. All right, here we go. It's time. What do you think the girls are up to? I don't know. Do you? Let's find out. Police static personal 25108. Capture video July 1st. July 1st, 11:55 p.m. Okay. Begin playback. You ready to give up yet? We've been staring at this footage for... Oh, it's them going through the video footage from the security from the... Okay, this is the trial. We've been staring at this footage for hours. You can call it quits whenever you like. Me? You kidding? I could do this all night. But my makeup's starting to feel cakey, so... 5-minute break? Deal. What were you hoping to find anyway? I don't know. I had my fingers crossed that some shadowy figure would walk into frame and hold up a confession, but... What about you? You've already got her on camera handling the murder weapon. How many more nails do you need in the coffin? 1 or 2 should suffice. I guess the truth is, I was curious. What does a homicidal AI get up to in its spare time? It turns out it's a couch potato. What's with all the TV? Damn, roasted your ass, Sarah. You're not even here. Why is half of it in black and white? Public domain. Seriously? Anything digital from the 20s or 30s is too polluted to be useful. But go back in time 70 years and it's all clean as spring water. Also free. It had color in 2016, Morgan. I don't know, then. Guess this particular homicidal AI happens to be an old soul. Hold on, what was that? There. Look at her go. She's tearing that thing apart. What, the computer? That's how you learn to put them together. You can try and terrify Barrows with this. It's just a machine. It's not like she's dissecting a frog. Sarah is a machine, and she's ripping out circuitry without hesitation. If she was a human child, they'd be like, "You're reaching." Yeah, I guess so. Besides, you telling me you never pulled apart your dolls when you were a kid? Morgan! Stop giving Emma anything to work with! You are a freak! You know that, right? Morgan! No, I didn't. Did you? When I was a kid, I didn't play with dolls. What did you play with? Normal kid stuff. Sticks and stones, birds and squirrels. Birds and squirrels? What were you, a cartoon princess? Aha. I mean, I can kind of see it. It's giving through the enchanted forest, big poofy dress, tiara. Gee, no castle? Nah, no castle. I can tell you didn't have it that rough. Is it rough living in a castle? You did, Emma? It's a lot of empty rooms when you're a kid. I need to go wash my face. Sure. But if you fall asleep on the toilet, I am going to keep going without telling you. If you're drooling on the keyboard when I get back, I'm gonna handcuff you to the desk. Fair's fair. Playback complete. Ah. God damn, girls. The girls are yuriing out, watching YouTube together. All right. Fair's fair. Fair's fair. All right. I guess I do have more things I can buy, like the black phone case, the rose gold phone case, the magenta phone case, the yellow phone case. And yeah, that's all the things I can buy. That's all the things I can buy. High roller's no fucking joke. Fucking get him. Oh, and I need to go back to blue. Yeah, there we go. Just for me. Alrighty. We didn't get any new terms or profiles. I didn't expect to beat episode 1 today. I don't think I own episode 2 yet. DLC for the game. Yeah, it's on my wish list. I'm not done yet. I guess I can. I guess the rest of the stream tonight, I think we'll take a break from other. I think I'll call it here. Poor place to cut from last time to get only like 2.5 hours of a trial this time. But for the time being, we'll call it here. We'll save the rest for another Morgan Monday. I think we got a verdict. We got a not guilty. We got a case dismissed. Even not even a not guilty. Just the charges were dropped, which honestly fucking fair. Also, I wonder, do you think since the prosecution dropped the charges, do you think Emma's gonna come back next episode and go, "You didn't beat me on the record because we dropped the charges"? You didn't get a not guilty verdict. You got a dismissal, which is not a victory in the strictest sense. Man, those girls are so fucking competitive. All right. What should I do for the rest of the time? I can play some video games. I got some Binding of Isaac runs I could do. Got some Clover Pit. Got some... Play some Smash. I don't feel like playing Smash on stream. Let's play some Binding of Isaac runs. That'll be good. Because Eugenics comes out tomorrow, eh? All right. Blueprint. I'm not going to start Blueprints tonight, Vanilla. You can't get me like that. All right. I'm going to go on a BRB stream. I'm going to run an ad, and then by the time we come back, I'll have Isaac up probably. All right. BRB.